Yo, my peoples, what's up? Welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Jason here. Today I have a solo playthrough for Everdell Silverfrost. This one is a standalone iteration of Everdell in their Edge of the Map series. You know I love Everdell. I have coverage of all of those games on the channel, the expansions, different versions. This one is Everdell, a lot of what you're familiar with, a new base game with the cards, building a city, placing your workers, cute woodland workers, etc. In this particular case, I'm dealing with the ravages of winter, principally through the snow that will fritter around the board, get in my way, and I have to deal with it. And I also get a new tool, which is fire, and also some giant Iceland critters and other little iterations that mark this one as distinct. Going to be facing off against Pause, the solo bot. Everdell continues to iterate in terms of their solo modes. Pause is another unique one, and I'm happy to feature that one as well. So let's jump into this full solo playthrough for Everdell Silverfrost. We are the One Stop Co-op Shop, a multi-platform gaming empire, and your one stop for solo and cooperative gaming goodness. In this video, I am not going to go over the basic mechanisms of Everdell. I have plenty of old content for that. Go ahead and check the One Stop Co-op Shop playlist for Everdell. Plenty of videos in the backlog. Here, I'm just going to share what is new in the Silverfrost expansion. And as I mentioned, the principal enemy now is snow. So at the turn of every season, I am going to be pulling from a deck of cards and playing a one-player game, so I'm going to be pulling this many cards whenever the season turns, and that's including me and the other character as well, so we're going to be seeing a lot of cards. Here is that deck right here, and it is going to put snow in different places, different worker placement spots in the valley, which is where the cards are, etc. So if I have some snow down in the valley on some of these cards over here, then I have to deal with the snow in order to claim the card. So right now, these cards are not accessible. Snow will also land in my city on some of the cards in my city. Those cards are turned off again until I deal with the snow. That is where the fire resource comes in. You start with one, and there's plenty of ways to get more throughout the game, which I'll cover. Here is the winter tile that indicates that in order to clear one snow, I need to spend one fire. See the little down arrow right there indicating spend, at least in the first part of the game. So if I were to take an action, I wanted to buy the hostile, I'd pay the resources, and then I'd pay a fire in order to get rid of the snow. I collect these. These are points, at least in the version of the game that I'm playing. So there is a reason to have lots and lots of snow piled up near your board. I claim the snow, and then I claim the card as usual. I'm playing the Flurries module, which means that each snow that any player gets is going to be worth 1 point, and whoever can pile up the most snow is going to be getting 5 points. Fire as a flexible resource has a couple of uses. The primary one is clearing out these cards over here. However, there are a few more. So if you know Everdell, you know that you can pay constructions, and they'll often lead to being able to play a critter for free. So in the base Everdell, they were linked. So it's like, you needed the chip sweep in order to get the chip sweeper or something along those lines. I forget the combinations. Here, how it works is the cards are linked to general suit. So if I wanted the Tinder Cave, then I would pay a fire, and then I would use what the game calls a chimney, and I'm going to get a couple of these, not too many, but only a couple. And then I would be able to play a blue critter for the price of that one fire and also that chimney. So there's another use for the fire token. Fire doesn't inherently score you any points. It scores the bot points because the bot cheats, but it doesn't score you any points. It is only one of the tiebreakers, so spend fire liberally. Another new-ish mechanism out here is the Glacier board. So like in the base Everdell that had the forest spots, these represent spots that are variable. You'll be able to place your worker there and get a larger effect. Only in this version of the game, they will cycle. So in the forest version, you pick your variable powers at the beginning, and they were basically the same throughout the whole game. Here, they will cycle. So if I place my worker on a space over here, one of these beacon spaces, and spend a fire, of course you got to spend a fire, then I could play one of these and get the points. let's say I wanted to play Whisper. So I played Whisper, then I'll get the points, 3 points, move everything down, and then pick from a whole bunch of different critters, and then move it along. Now you might be asking, wow, that is a lot of fire to get. How are the ways to get fire? Number one, you get some fire at the beginning of every season. I'll demonstrate that during the playthrough. Number two, we have this guy. So every piece is going to have one that has these snowshoes on it. They are the ranger. So whenever you place a ranger in an unoccupied space, you gain fire. So he kind of like digs up some fire. So in this particular case, let's say he went here. He could gain a fire and then use that fire to spend it, and therefore it's kind of a wash over here. He's able to go here without an extra expenditure of fire. In addition, this does not count for your piece, but it does count for the enemy pieces. The ranger could go there, occupy that space, and then do its thing. It would not get a fire for that, but you have that extra optionality with this super worker. All right, so we're just going to jump into the playthrough right now. I'll explain the solo bot as we go. Here is pause. They have a couple of aspects to them. Here is a reference bunch of cards. And we start with the map cards that comes out of this deck, the map deck. And it's going to determine what kind of action they're going to take on their turn. And the scheme is going to give that specificity. Okay, so we're going to start with one map card out. And on their turn, and it is the first turn of the game, so they go first. I'm going to pull a card. So there are multiple potential options. So you look at the card and see which one is uncovered. So we start at the cave, and then subsequent cards are going to be put around over here. And this tells you that it is going to do the worker placement action. So here is how that would match up. And it's going to put its worker on the place with, I believe that is copper and a card. I'll show that in a second. In further turns, when they place on the card over here, then they're going to do that bottom half. So it says or, and they're going to build their own city. So they're either going to take from the top of the deck or from the card from the valley. But for now, let's go ahead and place their worker on the copper space. The economy is the same as in basic Everdell, just with slightly different resources. So we have birch, we have moss, and yes, the moss are little felt pieces, which are always a cute little innovation. We have the copper, which we're going to place over here. This will get you your constructions, and here are how you pay for critters with acorns. As in many games of Everdell, your choices are going to be shaped by the goals that are available. So there are going to be highland goals and lowland goals. Highland goals are common to everybody, so anybody can achieve them. Whoever gets to the guild space first and has the prerequisites will get the points. There are also lowland quests. There's a whole bunch more of those. And I have picked two, or drawn two and picked one. The first quest that I'm going to go for is to gather 8 resources. And if I can put my worker on the guild, then I'm going to be able to fire this off. Only one quest at a time that I can fulfill, either a lowland or a highland. So because I have 8, this card, which is rewarding production, and because I'm looking at this card over here, which is 5 production buildings and more birch, which is the cheapest resource, then this icon means the player to my left, even though it's holding up his right hand. Figure that one out. Anyway, so player to my left, which would be the bot. I need more birch than the bot and 5 production buildings. So that tells me right away what I should be going for if I want that, which is the easiest, kind of most low-hanging fruit. So let's do it. Also, we have 4 red buildings and more moss than my opponent, and also a 1 for 7 critters and 7 construction. So this is towards the end game. In my hand, I have the tugboat, which is going to generate me birch. I need birch for the achievement, so that's pretty obvious. Boom. Let's go ahead and claim 2 moss from this worker placement spot. All right, so it is pauses go. According to the arrow, it will be up to another worker placement spot, and they are going to place in the moss. Look at that. So here is a wrinkle on moss, or on the worker placement, because same thing, you can't occupy these exclusive spaces. Then you would consult the tactics card. So the tactics is kind of a flow chart. Where does it go when it can't go somewhere? So it cannot go to the moss, asterisk, I'll get to that in a second. Then it cannot go to the copper because they're already occupying it. They would go to the 2 acorns and get a card. They would go to that space. Whenever Pause has to use their tactics card, they also will lay claim to a card in the valley using this priority. So it's going to lay claim to the highest point value production So there's only 2 production and they're same value, so you go ahead and claim the leftmost. So that doesn't interfere with play. All that means is when Pause prepares for season, they're going to claim that as a face down card and get a little bit of extra points on the side. So basically announcing, okay, if you don't want Pause to have extra points, take this card. If you don't care, let them take it. But I have a couple turns there. So that was me engaging in rules explanation. Really, they just placed the worker. Why? Because this is their special ranger. They saved the special ranger for last. And remember, the ranger has the ability to occupy a space that is occupied by another opponent. They would get fire if this was an unoccupied space, but I'm here. No fire for you. They've placed both of their workers. Turns in Everdell are pretty fast. So as a second player, I start with 6 cards in my hand. Here's the card I wanted. You wanted some birch? Let's go get some birch. So that was the 2 moss that I just got. I'm going to spend that, and I'm going to get a tugboat. And when I play a production building, they fire off immediately, and there's my 2 birch. Going around clockwise, now the Pause character is going to play a card. So they are going to get a card from the Valley. And this card indicates the priority with which they will take cards. So if there is a purple, then they will take the purple first. Just my dumb luck. There is. So they are going to get the printed value of the card, which is 3. Most of them are priority purple anyway, so that we kind of have to anticipate that. So that is part of their city. So let's say they eventually take this card. In basic Everdell, this is the space that the player can go. This is the space where other players can go. So you have to give the other person gets a point for using someone else's space. So as with the other players in multiplayer, I could go to the space here if the bot did claim this. So I want to keep that in mind as an extra option. But for now, let's go ahead and take that purple and see what replaces it. Another purple. Ugh. Oh, look at that. I have the camera right here. So I'm going to go ahead and spend these 2 birch and get the mossery, which is going to get me 1 moss. Replace that. Another mossery. If more kind of rules explanations while I'm in this first round. If I had not gained the mossery and I had pulled that card, that would be a stack. So just to kind of keep the doubles out of the front, out of the valley. So that's how that works, but it didn't end up being a double situation. Anyway, just know that if I get another copy of one of these cards, they'll go on top and I'll keep on picking. Next up, Pause is going to add another card to their city. That's going to be off the top of the deck, and that is going to be a scout worth 1. I'll live with that. So let's go ahead and demonstrate the special board. So I'm going to take my last worker who can generate fire on a placement and place them here. This is 3 players and 4 players. We're just going to work with the two players right here. Generate a fire and spend a fire. So I can pick any one of these 4. As much as I would love to pick a character that would get me some points, this one is just too good for what I want to do right now. Marigold. So Marigold is going to let me spend this moss in order to get a moss, a copper, a birch, and a fire. So a really good exchange of resources, getting rid of Marigold. And now I have Steady Trot over here. Activate any basic location twice. If I'm desperate for resources, I know who to call. So now we are going to get rid of these cards and deal out a whole new series of map cards. So here's something interesting. So the cave is here, and they would normally place a worker. However, it is their winter, which this game starts in winter. They're out of workers. So instead, they get a card from the valley. So they are going to race ahead of me in terms of getting cards. So they are going to get with a priority of a red. So I just mentioned that. Here comes the red, and I could use that space if I wanted to. It is now available in their city. Also, so because they did not place a worker and they had to play a card because they ran out of workers, they are able to get 1 snow. So they are now ahead of me in the race for snow. So I got to watch for that. So don't delay your prepare for seasons here. I know sometimes in Everdell you want to just kind of wring every action out of prepare for seasons. In this solo, it'll just, the bot will just keep on going. It won't prepare for season until you do, and it'll build up snow. So I have to be really careful about that. But I think this is worth it because I'm playing the resource game. So I'm going to spend those 3 resources that I just got. Keep the copper back because I am playing the smelter for 2 points, gaining that copper. And now I have a way to generate all 3 of the basic construction resources. Let's see if I can find a way to generate some critters to complete my city. So they have 3 cards in their city, and they're about to get a 4th. They're going to get it from the top of the deck. It is the Chimney Sweep. Nothing matters about this card except for the point total, so I like that it is 1. However, they are going to continue to pile up the snow. All right, enough tomfoolery, time to prepare for season. Okay, so going into autumn, let's do a couple of things. I get 1 fire per a card in my city. So that's why I like having the 3 cards. Even though it gave the bot a little bit of extra snow, I get 3 fire, and that's going to be really valuable later. I get my additional worker, and I also get a chimney, which will allow me to play a free critter sometime during my future turns. I could activate my production. So I got a nice little shot of resources. So this is 4 resources. With that copper that I had is 5. That is 5 out of 8 that I need in order to fulfill my quest. That's the thing I want to keep in mind. So that's all the good stuff I get. What about the bad stuff? 2, snow. So I pull, and let's see where I place the snow. I'm going to place them in the valley and the forge. Hey, look at that, Valley Forge. Okay, we got a snow for the hostel and also a snow right here. So this will never get covered. This is the common space. You have to spend fire in order to go there. This is the exclusive phase, no fire. If I want to discard cards, I would gain resources at the space. But if I wanted to go here, then I would have to pay a fire. The bot does not pay fire, but if they did go here, they would claim the snow. 3 fire for me for these cards, 3 snow for me. So now these buildings are off. Notice that the production fired off before the snow covered them, so I was able to get the production. So right now, these buildings don't count for nothing. So if I wanted to go for that bigger quest that had the 5 buildings, I couldn't because the buildings are basically no ops. They don't exist until I take out the fire. So the rule is during my turn, once per turn, I can remove a snow by spending the requisite fire. So I'm going to be doing that the next 3 turns. All right, so now it is the bot's turn. They are going to prepare for season. Now that I've prepared for season, they're going to get their extra workers. So now they have 3. They clear out their workers. So now they're going to place those 3 along the course of the game. And they also place this token. So this is their pause token on the forge. So on the shared space of the forge. So if I were to go here, at least to the shared space, let's say they had this covered and I really wanted the forge, then I'd be giving them 1 fire, not to discard. And oh yeah, I almost forgot. There is more snow being added to the valley. All right, we are ready for autumn, both of us. So you reset the map, discard all of the played scheme cards, and we're going to be refreshing as soon as I get my go. There are 4 cards in the bot city so far. I set this one aside to let y'all know that I could play here if I wanted to, be giving the bot a point. If I wanted to activate 2 different production in the valley or in the city, I may want to do that at some point. Who knows? Also, I don't know if I pointed this out. The bot starts with a deck of the personal goals, the lowland goals. And when they land in the guild, they are going to fulfill one of these goals just automatically. Harder modes of the game, you shuffle in a couple of the highland quests over here, which are worth a couple of more points. I'm playing on level 1, so I'm not really too worried about that. Just letting you know what you see here in the layout. And yeah, they have their 3 workers, just like me. I'm going to go first, taking advantage of my pretty decent size of resources that I have here, and go for the feasting hall. So I have my production capacity 3 cards. I'm going to get to 5 total, but I want to mix up with some of the different cards. So let's go ahead and get that feasting hall, draw 1 card, and gain 1 point each time you clear a snow, which I plan on doing. So at any time during your turn, you can spend 1 fire to clear the snow. So let's go ahead and spend that fire, clear out the shelter. I don't need to right now for anything. I need to do it by the spring season if I want production again, and also if I want to cash in the quest. So it's not necessary now, but eventually it will be. So let's go ahead and claim that, my first snow, and also draw a card and get a point. Let's first replace this card in the valley. We have the inn, play a card from the valley for 3 fewer. Pretty useful right there. That's a Everdell staple. And I'm going to draw the card for myself, a beacon, activate 1 critter That's pretty expensive though. 4 birch. You have to have the birch lying around, which I kind of don't right now. And oh, by the way, you may have noticed this symbol over here. That means that I can play any common card. So there are common and unique cards. So this would be an example of a unique construction. You see how it has a snowflake next to it? That indicates unique. So anything that is not unique, I could build off of this feasting hall if I used my chimney. There are cards that let you specifically build unique cards. Those are pretty rare and powerful. All right, the bot is going to go with their scheme on top of this cave over here. So they are going to go to the journey space, or they would go to the journey space if it was in the last season, which in this game is spring. So then they would use their tactics card and go to the next spot, which is the critter space right on top of here. So they are going to pop up right here on the critter. They don't spend fire, so that's fine. How this works is they're going to take a card, and you look wherever on the card. There's always going to be a spot like this, and it's going to tell you which card it's going to discard and how many points it's going to get. So it's going to discard Rurik right there. It's going to get itself a point. Card slide down, and we get a new one, Whisker. Oh, if I wanted Birch, that's where I'm going to get Birch. I have the power that lets me benefit from clearing snow, so let's go ahead and clear more snow. Let's go with this character. Not going to use my ranger just yet. So a couple things need to happen. So number one, I have 4 fire. Let's go ahead and discard down the 3. Acquire this snow that goes in my pile. I'm now tied with the bot. And I'm going to draw a card. The card is Stormwatch. Activate 1 production in the valley, or discard 1 card to clear 1 snow from the board. Oh my god, I'm going to want to play this pretty soon, because I'm want to be a clearing machine here. And I also get a point that is not unique. This is draw 1 and gain 1 each time you clear a snow, however that happens. So that feasting hall is going to combo well with what this little engine that I got going. So going to the forge, I am going to discard 3 cards. Discard up to 3 cards and gain 1 resource for each card discarded. So let's go ahead and discard 3 cards. That is going to be 2 moss and a birch, and I'll tell you why I picked those resources next turn. And so now I am down to 2 fire. I'm running out of fire pretty quickly, but getting rid of this snow is going to be worth it in the long run. And then that gets me a point. You see how fast I'm stacking those up and drawing a card. The card is Chip Digger. So is the Chip Digger the same thing as the Stormwatch? No. This one is, actually, they look like they have the same text. Oh, no, activate 1 in the city, activate 1 in the valley. Okay, so these are the same character. If I wanted to really start cycling my, my snow removal machine, I'd play both of these, which, I don't know. I need 5 production. Here's 2 production right here. We might just make that work out. We'll see. The bot goes, they are going to play a card from the valley into the city. Priority is the Wanderers. The most expensive one is the camp. They are the first one to occur, so they are going to claim the camp from me. They are now at 5 in their city. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. All right, let's go ahead and use one of these chimneys. So I'm going to put the chimney right there. That cost me a fire, my last fire. Have to build a critter with this. This is, I don't love the iconography over here because, like, this could indicate like any card, which is not true. Only critters can be built with this. So I'm going to go ahead and build this bricklayer. Bricklayer is fairly on the expensive side, so I think that is worth it. Their power is that they will allow me to reuse one of my chimneys on a different construction, which is definitely going to happen. I have that planned out a couple turns, but for now, bricklayer is there. All right, next up is the bot. They're going to go to a worker placement spot now. They're going to go to the big critter area, and they are going to discard the 2-point card, netting them 2 points. So that is right here. They don't have to spend any fire to do that. They get rid of Truffle. Oh, too bad, Truffle. And they are going to unleash the power of Honeypaw. All right, I really hope I did the right thing. We'll see. Okay, let's go to the bricklayer. The bricklayer is going to allow me to reuse reuse my chimney in a different construction. Let's go ahead and move that over to the tugboat. So actually, you know what? I have to use this guy. Why? Because he generates fire. I get a fire back. That's my one fire that I have. I have to spend it immediately. I can. The rules are very clear that if you earn fire on that turn, you could spend it immediately. So I'm going to spend that here, and then I'm going to get myself this chip digger. So the chip digger is there. They are going to either activate one in my city, attractive, but discard one card to clear one snow from my city. Let's go ahead and discard this useless blue. Get rid of this last snow so my city is clear of snow. I get another point. I get another snow from my pile, which brings me up to 4. And I get to draw a card. The card is Seller, discard fodder if I ever saw it, because I'm only going to get to 5 production. You need to do something else with your city. And that last production is going to be taken up by the Stormwater. And this is what my hand looks like now. All right, last card for the bot. They're going to play. Sorry about that. Their scheme card. They're going to play Out of the Valley. They're going to prioritize the purple, which, yeah, that is going to happen. So they claim the lodge. I think at some point they had played their tactics card. Yep, here. They had played their tactics card. This means that they would have put their paw on the lodge, the only purple card out there. The paw means they would have claimed it as a face-down card that would have been worth 1 point at the end of the game for them. Now they get the 4 by just claiming that outright. Well, too bad for me. I have one last worker to place. Let's go ahead and go to the hot springs. You see how lucrative getting rid of snow is. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself 2 fire and draw 2 cards. Ooh, Grandmaster. What's that? For each... I plan on achieving a couple of those. The Highland quest, the bigger ones. So this might be a good card to play at some point. Bartender? No. That's discard fodder. So I don't know if I showed this in the overview, but as the season will turn to winter, Winter's Fury is going to hit, so it'll be more expensive to get rid of snow. So I'm going to pile up on my snow removal ability, because that turns into points. Everything discards, you get a brand new map card, and we are going to begin again. So now they are going to work or place at the forge. Normally, they would get a fire by going to the forge as opposed to having to spend it. They are going to use their ranger. So normally they would use a tactics card and move on, but they are going to land right there. Landing at the forge for them earns them a fire, and they do get points from fire at the end of the game. So I see the next turn that the bot is going to do a worker placement. They have no more workers to place, so they would play a card in their city, and that would give them snow. And they're going to keep doing that as long as they have no workers to place, and I have not prepared for season. So I have a couple of moves that I can do, but there's no reason that I need to do them now. So I'm going to prepare for season right now and deny the bot a extra snow or 2. All right, first things first. Let's go ahead and get 3 fire. I have 6 cards in my city, 1 per 2. So that is 3 fire. That brings me up to 5. I get my critter and my second and final chimney. There's no way to get other chimneys. All you could do is move them around. And I'm going to recall my other workers. So then we are going to turn this around. So that is the Winter's Fury. Now it costs 2 fire to clear a snow. Boo to that. And then I am going to cycle all of the cards in the mountain road to see if I can get some more attractive cards. Having to use a fire in these spots is so valuable that I haven't been even looking at them, but I might get a better card along the way. So we got 3 moss. We have play 1 card from the valley for 3 fewer. We have Noble. A fire will get me all those resources. I've used those in previous games. Good old Noble. And Puddle, gain 1 for each fire you have, up to 4. Wow, that's good. Too bad it's not in the prime point spot, but what are you going to do? Next thing that happens is we are going to take 3 snow cards. Yeah, we're going to get 6 snow cards over the course of this. And fritter them around where there is snow. Okay, so we got snow on worker placement spaces. How wonderful is that? So snow is going to go right here. If you are curious, snow does not interfere with workers. If the workers are already there, you can reclaim them and they can act however they want. We got snow right there and right there as well, down here. And holy Toledo, 4 in my city. These 3 aren't as big a deal. All 3 of these would impact me. Let's go ahead and put it on the brick layer. I'm going to remove that one first. I don't know if I'm going to use that one again anytime soon. Well, actually, I may because I have fire, so this is the first one I'm going to be removing. Still have my feasting hall, still have my chip digger. Those are the two that are the most important for snow removal. So now let's do the bot. The bot is going to prepare for season. As soon as I prepare for season, the bot will prepare season. They're going to take back their workers. Then they're going to place a paw on the shared guild space. That means that whenever I use this space, I'm going to give the fire to pause and not discard it. We're going to get rid of these cards and place new snow. So we have snow right here on the guild. Oh, I'm definitely going to take care of that. And also a snow for a card in the valley. And the last snow will go in the critter space. That is done. They're both prepared for season. We are on to the winter rounds. All right, first winter turn. Let's go ahead and get ourselves some birch because I see something in the row that I really want to build, and it is pretty expensive. We start with the worker placement action. They are going to go to the mountain. So as we saw, both mountain spaces have snow. So they are going to claim that snow. And they are going to claim 2 points. Let's go ahead and give them change for a 5. So now they have 5 points. They have 3 snow. The bot is starting to really chug along. Still not that attracted to what is in the row. So let's see if we can get something attractive. We have Scuttle, lots of cards, and a wild resource. Puddle is the one that I'm really interested in because I do have a good amount of fire now, and that's a lot of resources. So maybe I'll consider that. And oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that during that last turn, I had discarded 2 fire to get rid of this snow, giving me 5. So that gives me 5 points because of my snazzy Feasting Hall card. And I draw a card, which is another Smithy, discard fodder. So now that I have taken care of the bricklayer, I can place a worker there now, reuse one of my chimneys for a different construction. Let's go ahead and shift that over to the Feasting Hall. As I showed before, the Feasting Hall lets me get a common critter. So that snow with the cross over it, the snow means unique, so that would be the opposite of unique, which is common. I have to spend a fire, which brings me down to 2. And let's go ahead and build my last production build that I'm going to build in the game probably, which is the Storm Warden. So I get to do something now. That is going to be discard a card. I told you about that Smithy. Don't need that. And get rid of this snow, which gets me a point. That brings me to 6 points, and I draw a card. That card is going to be another Stormwatch. It's common. If I wanted another one, then I could theoretically make him. Bot is going to go. They are going to play a city from the top of the deck, which is going to be the trading post, getting a fair bit lucky with them. That's only worth 1 point. So how many cards do they have in their city? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we both have 7 cards in our city. I believe that the bot has to respect the 15 card limit for cities. The rulebook is silent one way or the other. So we're just going to go ahead and assume that the 15 card limit holds for the bot as well. So here's that expensive building that I had my eye on. We are looking at 3 birch, 2 moss, and a copper, I think that is. That leaves me 1 solitary birch left. And that is going to get me the watchtower. Holy moly, this is a huge building. Only worth 1 point, but the effect is powerful. We're going to draw 1 personal goal card. That is going to be 6 uniques. Yeah, right. I'm not even close. I have 1 unique. Oh, no, I 1, 2, 3. Oh, I have 3 uniques. That's pretty cool. Okay, that's not as impossible as I thought. And it lets me achieve one of the Highland goals. So that is going to be 5 production, which is why I needed to play the Stormwatch first. And I need more birch. I ended up with a birch. That's technically more than the bot. So that is going to be 8-point achievement for me. And that takes away one of the cards that the bot can do. So that's awesome. There's so much awesome there. And there's one other little surprise that I'll save for a future turn. I'll show you. I can't wait to show you the last thing this card can do. I like to imagine that my opponent is shaking his fist at me for that tremendous move. So we're going to go ahead and assume that Pause is very, very angry. So they are going to go to the valley. There is snow there in that particular space. So they clear it. They get their snow, which brings them to 4. I'm still ahead of them. That's the only thing that really matters. It is points for their bot, though. So just all that I have to kind of consider, and that is their turn. So here is the last thing. You may have noticed it, but I know I go a little bit fast in the playthrough, so I'm going to focus on it now. Look at that. I can play a unique critter, any unique critter, by placing my chimney. I have a second chimney that's going here. I have a fire, which brings me down to 1. See how easy it is to spend fire. Gonna play this giant guildmaster. There is no more expensive critter in the game. So that's gonna give me 3 points, and also 2 for every one of these big goals I've earned. I've already earned 1 big goal, so that's 5. That's a really powerful card, and I plan on getting the other 2 if I can. So the city is pretty balanced. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 constructions and 4 critters. I need to get the 7 constructions and 7 critters, and I also need 4 red. So I don't know if I'm going to get the 4 red because those are, cumbersome cards to deal with, but I think I can get the balanced city at least, which would make this worth it. Boom. Bot is shaking fist. Let's go ahead and play that. They're going to play a card from the top of the deck. It is a little bit more of a valuable card, Blacksmith. So I just realized I made a terrible mistake. I will have noted it in the video, and I'm going to make moves to undo it so that it makes it nice and legal. When I played this Watchtower and I cashed in this Highland Quest, these needed to be free of snow. So right now, I do not count for having the 5 that I would need it to complete that. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my last moves to complete it now. So let's go back to get fire. So I'm going to get my 2 fire. I'm going to spend that 2 fire right away to get a snow removal and a point. So it's always good to remove snow anyway, so this isn't going to hurt me too bad. I draw 2 cards for the hot springs and also 1 card from the feasting hall. So we have Sky Ranger. So there's a lot of rangers in the deck. There's actually a goal that promotes getting these things. When you increase your hand limit by 2, when you achieve something, blah, blah, blah. Post office. That's pretty cool. I may discard up to 4 from my hand to play a card for that many less. So I would benefit from having more red cards. Here are some red cards that I'm looking at, so that might be a good thing. The bot has 2 more workers. They are going to place 1 of them right now. They are going to go on top of the moss. Ugh, did I want the moss? We'll see if I had wanted the moss. I'm not really sure. No, I did not, because I'd wanted to go to the forge. Let's go to the forge with my guy. He gets a fire because he landed there, and I'm going to spend my last fire removing that last snow, getting a point and a card. So that's always good. Mountain Ranger. When played, someone gains 2 fire and 2 points for things that somebody else achieved. Yeah, that's definitely a discard fodder. But that's in my hand. So now I have the 5 production cleared, and no one had taken the Watchtower, so I could have just reversed that and pretended that I did that first and then taken the Watchtower. So a little bit of illegal on timing, but I didn't cheat anything. That is how I would have played out the round. And the bot is going to play from the valley. They're going to prioritize a Wanderer, and the Wanderer is the mountain. So the mountain is going to play there, and they're also going to claim this snow, which brings them to 5. So I'm still ahead of them on snow, and I think I'm going to be comfortably ahead of them because I've prioritized it. So here's a case of a double. I had refilled this, but the Citadel came out. Not interested in the Citadel because I don't have that many blue. Let's see what else comes out. The Bell Tower. Whew. It could get me a unique if I put it there. Activate 1 card from the row, which is really, really good. It's just super expensive. Let me see if I can figure out how to play that. When I went to the forge, I don't know if I had filmed this, but I did get 2, 1 of each. I got 1 of each of the constructions. So I'm going to discard that, leaving me with 1 copper left in my reserve. I thought I was going to have more resources, but what are you going to do? And I'm going to play the inn. The next turn, I'm going to be able to play a card from the valley. See if I can get that bell tower going. That's pretty sweet. Let's see what else I get out there. The mill, +2 for each. Ooh, production in your city. Wow, that would be A 14-point card. Oh man, that might have shifted my strategy pretty profoundly. I'm not sure. Bot is going to go. They're going to get their last worker placement is going to be in the forge. The forge is occupied by me. Just as with the last time, they're going to go with their ranger, and they are going to claim fire because that's what their special function is with the forge. So I have no workers left, so let's go ahead and prepare for spring, the last season. So for me, 2 fire per card in my city. That's why I wanted to get to 10. So 5 fire is going to come in very, very, extremely, very handy. That's a lot of qualifiers. Going to get my 2 workers. So I have my full complement of 6 workers for me. Activate buildings. That's really, really nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to activate these. We're going to get 2 birch, 1 moss, and 1 copper. We're going to do the chip digger. The chip digger is going to activate a card for my city, which is the tugboat again. So that is going to get me 4 birch, a moss, and a copper, which brings me really close to this one. I have 7 out of 8 resources, and I should be able to get that last resource. We'll see. The Stormwatch allows me to activate a production in the valley. Unfortunately, both of these are taken. The Tinder Cave would have been amazing. Gain 1 for each fire you have. So that would have been 4 points, but I can't do that. Instead, I'm going to discard some of my purples that I'm not going to play. Get rid of this snow, claim it. That's a point. And also another point from the Feasting Hall, which is just the gift that keeps on giving, and draw a card. Great Hall. 3 for each purple in my city. That's not going to get played. The mill is much more attractive to me. Let's go ahead and pull a card right here. A snow, only 1 snow, so that's a pretty thankful thing because it's spring. Not too much snow left. It's going to appear on this Feasting Hall. Not a bother there. And I get 2 more in my city. 1 is going to go on the Watchtower. And now these don't do much for me. This production don't do much for me at all. So if I want to, I'll clear them. I probably will. But I'm not too worried about it. And you see how valuable fire is. So I might not clear these. We'll see. The bot goes. They immediately discard everything and prepare for season. They're going to get all of their workers up to 6. They're going to play a new map card. And now we are both ready for the final spring round of the game. First turn of the spring round. I'm not going to mess around. So this mill is out here. You saw how easy it is for the bot to claim purple cards from the valley. And yeah, it's just going to claim that if it touches things in the valley at all. So let's just get this out of the way. My first worker is going to go on my inn, which I played last round. So play a card from the valley for 3 fewer resources. I am going to skip the moss and the copper. And I'm going to spend 2 of my birch, which brings me down to 2, and then I'm going to claim this mill. I have 5 of these cards are active. I do need to spend or somehow get rid of some of the snow on there. Let's go ahead and do that right now. So I have 2 fire, and I'm going to get rid of this snow off of the mossery. So now I have all of my green buildings are cleared. That's going to get me a point, which brings me to 10 points. And also, after I refill this, oh, what's this? Cloakmaster. Oh, that might be pretty good. I'll check that out in a second. This is a card that I draw. Almskeeper. 1 for each one of my unused resources. I'm using the heck out of my resources, so that might not happen. We'll see. La la la. The bot is going along. They're not making any decisions whatsoever. Oh, no. They're going to go to the guild. That's not a good thing at all. Very limited spots in the guild. I could go here, but I would have to spend fire and give the fire to the bot. That's no good. And they claim a snow. Not worried about snow, but that does get them a point. Ooh, the bot actually did something that got in my way. Don't like that at all. So sequencing, combos, that is the essence of Everdell. It's the essence of every single iteration of Everdell, and this is no different. So took me a while to plan this out. I hope it all works. So I'm going to place a guy here. Because reuse one of these things. Let's go ahead and put that right there on a different construction. I have to pay a fire, which brings me down to 2 fire overall. But I can play a blue card. That blue card is going to come out of my hand pretty expensive. This Sky Ranger. Power. Increase your hand limit by 2. When you achieve a Highland quest, draw until you have to your hand limit. So my hand limit is now 10. That's great. And then the opponent may draw one, which is fine. So a lot of good things can happen. Let's see if I can make them all happen right here. Also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 uniques. So I have the ability to fulfill this personal quest now. Do I have the actions? That is the question. So the bot is going to increase their city off of the deck. And they are going to get an artist for 3 points. That could have been a little bit worse, but it also could have been better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards in their city, 12 cards in mine, right on pace. Any veteran of Everdell knows this particular spot, the journey spot. I am going to claim this before the bot does. So let's spend a fire, bringing me down to 1 fire, which is sad face, but whatever. And I've been getting cards. So let's go ahead and discard a card that I have no chance of playing whatsoever, including this additional Sky Ranger. Down, and that'll give me 8 points at the end of the game. Partially did that because I know they're going to place at a space, and there's not a terrible chance that they're going to place right there. Well, instead they're going to place in the big critter area and get 2 points. And also those dirty rascals get themselves a snow. So let's discard that noble. I don't think I'm going to be using this big critter area. Spending fire to get all that stuff, that's really good, but not going to be able to do it. So as I counted up before, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unique cards. Wham! The last game I played of this, I accomplished 7 of these. Now this is my first one. Literally. See how different the games play out. So I'm going to go ahead and accomplish that. And that is worth 6 points, which is on the high end of what these give. So that's really nice. And also, as part of this action, you could pick 2 and discard 1. So 5 commons or 3 blue. I'm probably not going to have the actions to be able to fire that off. But I do, just in case I get shut out of something, this is like a good backup plan because I do have the 5 common critters. / constructions, common cards. Let's get another card into their city from the top of the deck. They are going to get a Mountaineer. Not too shabby. Sorry, I'm doing a couple things out of sequence, but there's a lot going on in this game. All right, so for that last turn, when I completed the Highland quest, the Sky Ranger increased my hand limit by 2, and when I complete that, I can draw up to my hand limit, and then I give the bot a card. So the bot is going to have a face-down card that's going to be worth 1 point to them at the end of the game, but I got a big fat hand of 10 cards. Woohoo! So lots of variety. What I don't have are acorns, and I need to build critters. So let's go ahead and go to the forge. I have 1 worker left, my ranger. We're going to discard 3 cards, get 3 resources, and they're all going to be acorns. The bot is slowly working out their workers. That worker is going to go to the guild. The guild is occupado, so they go on to the next, which is the second fire space. So that's okay. They are going to place a pause on the one of the remaining purple cards, which is the Citadel, which has been hanging out on the valley forever. So they're going to claim that as a face-down card, and that's going to get them a point. Actually, we're going to go a different direction. We're not going to have done acorns. We're going to do moss, and I'll show you why the moss in a second. But we are going to play another card. Let's see, that is a birch, a copper, and a moss. And that is going to be the post office. So we'll see what I do with that. I play a city card. The bot plays a city card. They are going to play off the top of the deck. They are going to get 4 points. I don't like that at all. So I'm going to place my last worker. That last worker is going to get me a fire. That brings me to 2 fire. I'm going to get rid of those 2 and remove the last snow that I have on my city, getting a point and drawing a card, which at this point is inconsequential. So it turns out that I did not have enough actions to claim another big scoring card. I needed 1 more worker, which is often the case in Everdell. So that's how it goes. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to play this Cloakmaker, have 4 reds, and then have a ability to get to the guild, but I can't. With that extra worker or that extra power, I am just 1 short of being able to do stuff. So instead, I'm going to discard 3 cards, And we're just going to try to score as many points in our city as possible. That's going to be the Postal Pigeon. I'm going to draw 3, and I can play one of them for 3 fewer. So here are the 3 cards, and this is amazing. Check this out. Okay, so we are going to discard those 2 cards. We're going to play the Mist Ranger. That is an instant. I should have remembered that there are instants in here, and they really help. Activate any opponent's deployed worker for yourself. That opponent gets a fire. Look at that. They are deployed at the guild. So they're going to play the Ranger by discarding cards, so that makes that legal. I'm going to activate that space. I now have a full city of 15 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 constructions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 critters. I made it right at the very, very end. I used that space, and holy Toledo! I got the critters and construction right at the very end. Man, you know, there's so much planning that goes into this. So there is a little bit of luck, but it took skill as well to put myself in that position. You should see the smile on my face. Good Lord, I'm having so much fun. That was like right at the very end. This doesn't matter at all, but this is something that I can do. Whatever, sure. And just for the lulz, this won't make any difference whatsoever, but I'm going to draw 10 cards because of my blue card. Fantastic. The bot is going to go. They are going to claim a card off the top of the deck. It's going to be a 2-pointer. Come on, 1-pointers from now on. I'm going to end my game. So I'm going to prepare for season. I did everything that I could possibly do. Probably not that great that I finished that much more before the bot, but what are you going to do? Let's go ahead and play a worker placement. They are going to go on the journey space, the highest exclusive available. It's a good thing I claimed that one because they are going to claim the worst one and get themselves 6 points. We're going to suck all that up. We're going to shuffle the discards and go again. And because I prepared for season, the bot is just going to place their workers, and then they are going to end their game. So let's get rid of that. We have a new map card. They're going to place a worker. This is the worst for me because they're going to place 2 more. That's a pretty much of a shame. They are going to place on the big critter area. Unfortunately, they can't because they're both occupied, so they're going to skip ahead. They're going to put a paw on a purple card. They can't because there's already a paw there. So they're going to put a paw on a red card. So they're going to claim 2 face-down cards. All right. So, and they're also going to place on the journey space, which means that they're going to get another 4 points. Man, that's not really good news for me. We keep on going. 2 more cards for their city. 1 from the deck, the seller, pretty good. And 1 for the deck, which is the carpenter, pretty good. Let's see how many cards they have in their city. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They have 15 cards. It's almost as if the game was designed that way. They're going to place their last worker. Doesn't matter. Actually, it does matter because they're going to place their ranger in a space where I'm not occupied, and they're going to get fire, which is going to get them another point. No snow, though. This is their final tally. Final tally, the bot scored 75 points, but with my mighty engine of a city, I have 100 points. Getting these quests, or not these quests, these are undone, but getting these quests, yes, was very, very valuable. Getting the top space was valuable. Good combos over here, so I had some productive purple buildings. And I had majority in flurry, so I was able to keep pace a good amount from the bot. I played the bot at level 1. Or actually, I played it at level 2. So they got 3 extra points for their purple cards. They had 3 of them, so that's 9 points right there. Some points from fire, some points of face-down cards. So a little bit more, still not impossibly difficult. I think I probably would have beat it at difficulty 4 as well. I'm not going to do that math. But I'm very happy to have achieved the 100-point threshold in this game. It's very satisfying. Everdell satisfying. At the end of the day, you're getting more Everdell. And if you've played a whole bunch of Everdell, then having to deal with the snow is a welcome change. Some of the other things like the chimney and everything. So as always, my sincere intention is that I've given you enough information with this video so that you can determine if this is worth your gaming time and gaming dollar. This is Jason with the One Stop Co-op Shop. I'm running, and we'll see you at the next stop.